What's up, Home Skeleton? Smooth Singer 422, and welcome back to Let's Play Trauma Team. Last time we left off, man, we are so close to figuring out everything. And when I mean everything, I mean everything. Like, who the killer is, and, you know, I'm sure after that, once we find out who the killer is, we're gonna find out why he was killed in the first place. Yeah, this case is about to come to a close. I said close. Yeah, anyway, it's coming to a close. As you can see from the evidence, we found we linked together so much. We have so many hard pieces of evidence. I wonder how this phone is gonna come into play, but yeah, this is actually really exciting. I'm really excited to end it all on this episode. We'll know for certain if I can find a fingerprint, but where can I find something hard and smooth on the corpse or on the personal effects? Hard and smooth on the corpse or on the personal effects. Was there anything like that? In any case, I should take a look. So from what it seems like, I have to go in the evidence room. And I have to think of something hard and smooth. A hard, slick, inorganic substance. Is there something like that here? You know what? I'm thinking a button.
The killer put this shirt on the victim's corpse after the murder took place. That would mean that the killer would have had to button the shirt up as well.
Yeah, I was on the right track. The card, evidence of the killer, has been obtained.
Buttoning up a shirt with gloves on is no easy task. If my predictions are correct...
Let's get that analyzed. Are we gonna find some fingerprints? Well, if we find some fingerprints, that killer is so screwed.
The buttons on the victim's clothes, huh? I'll look into them right away. One moment, please.
Yeah, you better. I wanna know.
Hopefully this will help us find the identity of our mystery murderer.
Dr. Kimishima, it was there. I found it.
Wow.
There's a fingerprint from someone who isn't the victim. It's, a right thumb.
Great. Run the print through the list of registered offenders immediately.
Leave it to me. Such an attention to detail has gone into this. It can't possibly be a first-time offender. There has to be a match for this fingerprint in our records.
I sincerely hope so. This case should be over soon.
There we go. Evidence of the killer has become killer's fingerprint. Conclusion reached. Yes, this case has been solved, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go.
The dead shall speak. Let's put together the truth of what happened here. The victim in this case is 30-year-old Dennis Taylor. As there's no motive for murder, it's a suspected suicide. However, the victim had a hidden other side. This card is the one with proof of that.
The side... I really thought they were gonna wrap it up for us. But you know what? Let's play this game. We've come this far. Let's go. The side of the victim that had been hidden in this case was...
Yes, while he did work at the bar, he also dealt drugs. This case is related to the victim's drug activities. The proof of that is on this card.
The evidence proving that drugs were a motive for murder in this case is... I think I'm looking at it, but I just want to make sure. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, this is coming so close. Let's go.
Indeed, the drugs hidden behind the shelf were missing. The killer went into Taylor's room to kill him for his drugs. The real cause of the victim's death can tell us that. I know that because of this card.
The true cause of death for the victim of this case is... There it is. After Dennis died from the wound caused by the screwdriver.
Right. The wound on the wrist was not the true cause. Next, the killer disguised the murder as a suicide. This card proves the misdirection used to hide the murder.
The evidence proving that steps had to be taken to camouflage the body is... Well... While changing Dennis's clothing to hide the true cause of death, the killer fractured Dennis's finger. Let me double check. That steps had to be taken to camouflage the body. When I think camouflage the body, I'm thinking of the appearance of suicide.
Yes, the appearance of suicide covered up the real
Sorry,
cause.
just wanted to be sure.
The next topic is the secret hidden in the room itself. The murderer used a trick to create a locked room mystery. It was made to seem as if the victim was the only one there. This card shows the trick that had been used.
The killer was able to make it seem like the victim was alone at the time of death by... I think we figured out that it was a locked room trick. Right? I mean, how could anyone else have been there if the room was supposedly locked?
Exactly. The killer thought this would clear his trail. And yet, the culprit had one more way to hide from suspicion. That was to hide when the murder itself took place. This card shows how he went about that ruse.
The killer tried to make it appear that the death occurred at a different time by... Well... The killer used a timer on the ceiling fan and calcium hydroxide to start the fire remotely. This is actually borderline genius. A timer that, like, pretty much that would throw off the time of events for anyone investigating this crime, or at least this quote-unquote suicide. Even if you got past the part of this, you know, not being a suicide, throwing off the timeline really would throw suspicion off the true murderer. And he did it by using this.
The murder took place 3 hours prior to the fire's start. It's natural to assume that if the room was locked, then the crime and the fire would be at the same time. The plan was perfect. No fingerprints were left in the room. However, there was one thing the killer hadn't counted on. There was one task he needed to remove his gloves to do. This card is evidence of that task.
The killer was cautious, but needed to remove his gloves for, ladies and gentlemen, 2 cards left. Only one of them makes sense. Now, the task that he needed to remove his gloves was for buttoning up the shirt on Dennis. I mean, if he's an electrician, you know they have to have some, heavy duty gloves. It's not some latex/surgical gloves that you can, still be precise with. Like, this electrician, he's wearing some thick gloves to make sure he doesn't get electrocuted, And it's pretty hard to button buttons with some thick, heavy gloves. So unfortunately, this was the killer's ultimate downfall. If you were to trace back one thing that led back to, the killer, this is the only thing. So close, and yet so far, bro. If it wasn't for this, we probably wouldn't have had concrete evidence against you. But
he probably couldn't button the clothes with his gloves on. No matter how small the buttons, they were still prints. Even a fragment of a fingerprint can be used to identify him. The victim must have been surprised. After all, he thought the killer was a customer. This is what he said at the very end.
Well, we did it, guys. We finally and truly did it. The victim's final words when unexpectedly assaulted in his own home were, this is it. Dennis Taylor's last words. Stop. You? No! This is it. This is what he said. And you know what? It would make sense that he was surprised to be killed by his own customer. It's all this really is, what it looks like, is that this is a drug deal gone wrong. And it goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, kids, don't do drugs. Okay, that's enough.
Stop! No!
The final flickers of this soul's light show me the truth. Who's there?
I'm sorry. I must have surprised
No
you.
way. Uh-oh.
You're that electrician. Why are you here?
I was called up because a switchboard blew. I need to have it fixed by tomorrow.
I see. That sounds difficult.
Ooh, hoo, hoo.
Freeze. Don't move. I see corpses all day. One more won't bother me.
Got him like a G.
Naomi!
Are you hurt? I'm sorry. I should have stayed.
I've solved the case. I'll give you my report tomorrow.
Wow.
The report can wait. Naomi, you must think of your safety.
G mode.
Nobody lives forever. Even if I died today, it'd just be earlier than I expected.
Well, guys, we did it. We did it. We figured out the mystery. After all of the blunders and the goofs that I did in like the episode before last, I have to admit I was a little bit worried, but I clutched it out. I didn't make any more mistakes, and I'll go ahead and be completely 110% transparent with y'all. I didn't use any guides or anything. It was just me, you know, try a little bit of trial and error, but we did it. I have to admit, these missions from Naomi Kimishima are going to be quite long, but they're going to be very, very rewarding and very fun. I'm looking forward to the next mission, but unfortunately, that'll be it for this episode, guys. I know this is kind of a short video, but I just kind of want to wrap it up on that note, you know? I mean, we have been going through this case for maybe like 3 or 4 episodes, I think. Yeah, something like that. And in the other cases, it's maybe like 1 or 2. So this is pretty rewarding. I kind of want to, you know, rest on my laurels real quick and just enjoy this win, you know? But anyway, guys, in the next episode, we're gonna figure out which character's story to go through next. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this case, man. I really enjoyed this one. I hope y'all have a great day/night, and adios, home skillets.